Hello and welcome to St Botolph's Church. Today we are going to go up into the belfry to take a closer look at the bells and see how things work. We'll then look at how we ring them in the traditional English style, and finally we'll look at how you can learn this technique. So we start by climbing this short spiral staircase which leads to the ringing chamber. This is where we stand to ring the bells. You can see the ropes coming down through the ceiling from the belfry up above. In order to ring, we first have to lower the ropes, which are hooked onto the spider. This keeps them up out of the way. We have 8 bells here, so that means 8 ropes, each one ringing a different bell. They're numbered as follows. Number 1 is the smallest and lightest of the bells. This is called the treble and has the highest note. As we move around clockwise, we have the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, which is the biggest bell, known as the tenor, as it has the lowest note. So now we will climb on up into the belfry, which is accessed via this wooden ladder. When we get to the belfry, we have to clamber over one of the smaller bells to gain full access. Due to the limited space, there are no walkways. The only way to get around is to walk on the wooden bell frame itself, so you have to be careful where you tread. In order to fit 8 bells in the tower, the frame had to be built on 2 levels, so 2 of the bells are raised up above on this higher level. There are 4 bells underneath this, and the 2 largest on the other side. In this picture we can just about see all 8 bells. Here the bells are in the down position, but as you saw in the ringing clip at the start, the bells are rotating full circle, and for this we need to get them in the up position. Here we have the smallest bell, the treble, which weighs approximately 200 kilograms. To the left of this is number 2, the bell I had to climb over to get in. Then up above is 3 and the 4. Then back underneath we have 5 next to the treble. 6 is in the far corner. In front of this is 7, and finally we can see half of the tenor, number 8, which weighs over 500 kilograms. The rope comes up from below and passes through a pulley. When the bell is in the down position, as we see here, it wraps around about a quarter of the wheel's circumference. It passes through the hole and is fastened to the top vertical spoke of the wheel. The actual bell itself is fixed to a headstock, which in our case is made of wood. It has bearings on either side which fix to the frame, and this allows the bell to rotate and swing freely. On the opposite side to the wheel there's this wooden piece which is called the stay. Looking up from underneath the bell, you can see the clapper hanging inside. This swings freely in the same direction as the bell and strikes the edge. You can also see this wooden slider which moves back and forth in a slot cut in the frame, and when the bell is in the up position, the stay can rest against the slider, allowing us to set the bell as you see here. But how do we get the bells into the up position to begin with? Well, it's not a question of just lifting them up in one go. In fact, we don't even have to climb into the belfry at all. It's all done on the end of the rope down below, and this process is known as ringing up or raising. We will now see the process of ringing up the tenor in real time. It's important to check first to make sure the bell is down before coiling the rope. If the bell was already up, you would get a very different result. So I'm not pulling the whole weight of the bell round in one go, which would be impossible, but each consecutive pull adds more momentum, and gradually the angle of the swing increases. As more rope is taken around the wheel, we can lengthen it by letting out coils. Now the bell is going up to the balance point, and by leaning it just a few degrees over, the stay can be set against the slider. If we look underneath, you can see the stay coming round and pushing the slider across. Then we just ease it up all the way until it comes to rest. Since we don't have to manually hold the bell in this position, we can let go of the rope and tie it up. This avoids the need to ring the bell down and up again every time, which would be very tiring and time consuming. So let's take a closer look at the ringing action and see how this works. You can see the ropes have a blue coloured thick woolly section. This is called the sally, and when the bell is set, the bottom of this is around head height. You can reach up and grasp it with both hands. This is known as the hand stroke position. Since the wheel has rotated half a turn, the rope now passes horizontally across from the pulley and goes under the wheel. When we pull down on the rope, the wheel rotates, pulling the bell back over the balance point as the rope unwinds. As the bell continues to rotate, we let go of the sally and transfer both hands to the tail end of the rope. The rope will rise upwards again as it winds around the wheel in the opposite direction. As the bell approaches the upright position, the clapper moves across, striking the edge of the bell. With the bell now leaning over the balance in the opposite direction, a lot more rope is wrapped around the wheel. This position is called tail stroke. The slider has moved across and will allow the bell to be set if required. Then we pull back down on the rope and the bell rotates back in the opposite direction. The rope unwinds from the wheel. As the bell comes up to the balance point again, the rope starts to rise as it winds in the opposite direction, and we catch the sally as it comes up and the bell strikes, bringing us back up to hand stroke. This process is repeated over and over again. Due to this full circle style of ringing, we can accurately control the timing and striking of the bell. Since we can hold the bell at balance, it's at this point adjustments can be made to the timing. By allowing the bell to go all the way up, as you see here, we can ring slowly. And if we want to ring quick, we can stop the bell slightly short of the balance point. These adjustments can be made quickly at both hand stroke and backstroke, and this allows us to ring the traditional style of change ringing. So finally, we will take a look at how you can learn to ring and the steps involved in teaching the skill.
Do I need the...
Oh, not yet, no. So this will be when you... So with the help of one of our recent learners, James, we will have a look at how this process works. When learning, we only concentrate on one stroke at a time. The first one to master is the backstroke.
Rope tight, pull straight down and finish just there. Okay.
The instructor will take the hand stroke.
Ready? And I'll take the hand stroke.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Climb up the rope a little bit.
As you progress, you will be able to ring the backstroke fairly confidently without any physical help from the instructor.
Okay. Good. Hand stroke. The tail stroke part.
The next step is the hand stroke, which is split into two parts. The first part is just pulling off and letting go of the sally, with the instructor doing the rest.
Pull down and then finish there. And I'll do the backstroke and catch the sally. Okay? Go on then. When you're ready. Okay. And then
Often we use a dummy tail end at this point to simulate the feel of holding the end of the rope.
just to show that, just to give more of a realistic feel to it. So just pulling off and then both hands onto the tail end and finishing. And then what we'll start to do is you can start to catch the Sally after that.
Oh, shit.
So, one of those. Okay.
The second part to the hand stroke is catching the Sally.
Start to put your hands up to catch it. That's it. So pull off, I'll do the backstroke,
And then
and then you put your hands up to catch it.
okay.
But I'll catch it as well.
Now this can take a bit longer to get used to, as you have to move your hands up and catch the Sally while it's moving.
Okay.
But you won't be left to do it completely on your own. It's just a question of practice and learning the correct technique and timing.
Catch it a little bit higher. Good. Excellent.
Eventually you'll be able to do it completely by yourself.
Next time. And at this time. Good.
And the final step is to merge all the actions together.
The backstroke and the hand stroke parts all together.
Okay.
Okay? So I'll still catch the first one, and then we'll do alternates, and then you start to build. Okay?
Yeah.
Good? Again?
Are we both going to catch it?
Both catch it, yeah?
Okay.
And we'll keep going, keep going. Good? Excellent. And once you feel happy, you can take over and I'll let go.
With a bit of assistance at first, you will gradually become familiar with the whole technique and be able to control the bell by yourself.
You're ringing on your own. Okay.
Yeah.
This action will quickly become muscle memory, and from then on it's just a question of practice and improving bell control. When we finish the ringing session, we don't leave the bells in the up position, we always leave them down. We do this in exactly the opposite way to ringing up, and of course this is known as ringing down or lowering. Here we will see the tenor being lowered. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will now leave you with a short clip of some change ringing taking place.
You look to treble snare, treble snare.